Hi everyone, thank you so much and welcome to this month's newsletter. I have dedicated this month's to talking about Hastings and antiquing there, places to go, and what I found in my last trip, which is very exciting. Hopefully you think so too. So those of you who don't know a lot about Hastings is a town on the south coast of England. It is, I'm not going to spiel off the history of Hastings, but I'll give you my opinion on it. And it's kind of like a town of two halves. So the first time I went to Hastings was about 6 or 7 years ago. I took my husband for a weekend. And I remember reading about it and thinking, this place sounds amazing. I think I'd love it, he'd love it. And we got to the train station and I thought, oh my word, where have I brought us? Because, you know, seaside towns have a particular vibe, and the new part of the town is very kind of British seaside towny. I don't want to offend anyone, I love Hastings, but like a bit tacky and a bit sort of run down. And this was 6 years ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, where have I taken us? But a little short walk away, you go into the old town, which is a beautiful part of town. It's like little kind of winding streets, and it has lots of really beautiful shops full of makers and like lovely places to eat and buy lovely crafts and antiques and everything you could possibly want. So yeah, it's a town of two halves, I would say. I would say two halves originally for me, but now it's three halves when I have children, because there's like the new town, which is like not so great. There's the old town, which is like beautiful and lovely, and I love and the kids love, and we always spend most of our time there. And then there's also the seafront, which is a British seafront. There's crazy golf. There's the beach is very pebbly here, and you in the summer, when the tide goes out, you can like it's like this deep water, so it's brilliant for the kids so they can splash around. Anyway, you've not subscribe to this to learn about children, but yeah, so it's yeah, if you're going to go, I would say, and you're interested in like what I do and my kind of vibe, I would say stay in the old town. That's where all the antique shops are, some really lovely places to eat and really interesting shops and people, so yeah, go there. In terms of, so we actually have the house that my parents do not have in Hastings is in the new town, but you can go over West Hill, West Hill, like past the castle and then down into the old town. And if you check out my Instagram, you'll see a reel there where I do like a little video going through all the beautiful little cobbled streets. It's really lovely. It's like a real magical way to get to the old town. Gets you really set up for that traditional vibe. And yeah, that's how I like to approach. The day I did it, it was absolutely honking it down, and it wasn't quite so pleasant, but it was still lovely. And you can also spy into everyone's houses, which I really like doing, and seeing all their beautiful like furniture and decorations, so that's fun too. Anyway, so there are lots of antique shops in Hastings, and it depends what you're looking for. So there are rummage shops, there are places that specialise in and like sort of African art. There's one that is vintage fashion and toys. There is another one that I can't think now. I mean, there's lots that do like a big mismatch, like a big, you know, kind of like a sort of junk yard type thing. But within them, they often specialise and have little areas where people kind of who like specialise in certain things have little kind of stands. So it's worth rummaging through and just kind of taking the journey through, just to see where it leads you. My favourite shop for what I produce is Robert's Rummage on the Old Town High Street. It's just, well, I mean, treasure trove is how some people might look at it. I think my husband sort of just backs away. He's like, oh my gosh, there's so much. It is absolutely chock-a-block with stuff. I wouldn't say junk, but some, you know, great shop. If you're like looking for like a random door handle, like go there, because they've got drawers and drawers and drawers full of like doorknobs or like locks, or where's that thing I bought? Where is it gone? Perfect example, but now I can't find it. You know, if you're looking for some like beautiful little you know, lock plate, whatever these are called, they've got a name, but I can't think what it is now. This is the place to go. I mean, this is just beautiful. It's really random, but this is what I got. So Robert's Rummage is one of my favourite places to go. And yeah, just get a load of lovely little bits and bobs. So maybe I should start there and take you through what I bought. So from Robert, I got a couple of matchboxes. Matchboxes are always great. I always like to buy matchboxes when I see them. I bought a couple of sort of military models. I don't often buy military kind of type things, just because not with connotations, but these ones are so worn and gnarly, and like his little gnarly neck, I quite liked them. Anyway, they're very heavy though, so it might be difficult to use. A little pouch. I bought a couple of fastenings, which, you know, they're always great. These are for my blue, maybe for my blue collection, but probably just one of them. I got some tape measures. So I'm looking at collecting for sewing, like the hobby kit, so sewing. I got a little tiny blue sort of vase type thing, probably for doll's house. Lots of thimbles, which I'm gonna have. This one's particularly nice. It's got like sort of flowers. Not gonna focus, is it? It's got like flowers etched onto it rather than the normal kind of divots, whatever they're called. A little needle packet. I got some patches, which I have used these patches before in my red collection last year. I had a hockey one that was red, but so this is nice to have some different sizes and different colours. These are really lovely because they're like hand stitched. I don't know if you can see. So they're just lovely quality. Imagine some, you know, poor mother having to stitch all these. I got just really hard things to show you on this. I got a lot of buttons, which actually, you know, on closer inspection weren't quite as nice as I thought they would be. But still, you know, some nice kind of plain, useful little bits and bobs that can fill little gaps. Actually, that one's quite a cute one. You've got really searched mother of pearl etched with some silver around the edge, which is very sweet. I've got a lot of marbles. I seem to be obsessed with marbles at the moment. So lots of different colours, really perfect for my big collections that I'm doing at the moment. I got some tartan. These are from cigarette cards, but they're not cards, they're actually patches. They're on fabric. So I'm not quite sure how I use these, but they were just quite nice. I like tartan. I think it's one of those things it's really versatile to use in compositions because there's multiple colours. I got a few racing cigarette cards, and so I think I have a theme of cars at the moment. And this is a really good set that I really like. This is like driving safety, and they're really graphic, which I really like. I like things that are very graphic, so like this is one of my favourite ones. Like, it's really cool and very informative, very useful. I also got this set. There's a full set of howlers, which I've never seen before. I really like the kind of illustration style. It's very kind of modern. And that one's really beautiful. Some of them are a bit sort of not appropriate nowadays in terms of content, but some of them are really lovely little illustrations. Now I can't find another one that was pretty. You know, sort of like science. So yeah, again, I sort of pick these things up. I'm not totally sure I'm going to use them, but they'll be used somehow, somewhere or another. I got this box of a little sort of Japanese or Chinese counter. I'm not quite sure. But they're like little coloured counters, which are great for my games, great for the colour collections that I'm doing. And I think that is everything that I got from Roberts. I think. Yeah, you spend like an hour in there rummaging around. And oh, big tip, take wet wipes or just be able to wash your hands because, you know, everything's quite dusty and quite grubby, which I quite like. I like rummaging around and seeing things as they were, and I don't like to, you know, rub too much of the grime off things. I think that that's part of the history of the objects. I mean, you know, there's a line there, but yeah, take wet wipes because you do get quite, even now, quite sort of grubby fingers from ratcheting around. So that was everything I got at Roberts. All the details of these shops will be below, so don't worry. There's got some random grapes, which I thought were quite nice. I loved the colour, like the beautiful, like how the light shines through them. I thought they were really nice in the blue composition that I'm doing. I also got a Ludo game, which was full of tiddlywinks, which I love. Lots of different shapes. There's like square ones and different colours and big circles, little circles. And the box is just really beautiful. I can't, you know, just love a box. And then from the other shop, which again I'll put below, so I'll link to, not link, but like I'll highlight wherever I went. And it's just off the main street, and you go through this arch, and it is like a really big Rummage. In fact, the front of it is not the nicest bit, so you have to really kind of persevere and go through. And then in the back there's like a little mews, and there's little sheds full of different things. So if you collect like the Cruiser, there was a whole section on the Cruiser there. If you like sort of like iron, it's like even like raw iron buckets and like tubs and like, you know, things for the garden, those like big wash tubs, there's lots of those. Lots of I mean, it's a big mix, you know, there's chandeliers. There was lots of someone selling like sort of like traffic lights, so kind of you know, like applause, that kind of lighting from theatres. That was really cool. So yeah, that's a really good place. And from there, I only got a few things from there. I got a couple of cards. It's not great for my little small things, it's mainly for bigger pieces. In the past, the only thing I bought from there is a set of billiard balls, but they were small, they're quite little ones, so they work quite well. I got a couple of cards, and also don't quite know how I'm going to use this, but we'll see. I got a big tub of really colourful knitting needles, which I quite like. They're quite retro, but I thought that they would work really well in my colour collections that I'm doing this year, so we'll see. Anyway, they look nice on my desk, so until then, they're there. So that was my haul from Hastings. I had a couple of hours looking around, and it was really fun. But yeah, thank you so much. I hope you find this really useful. And like I said, there is a treasure trove of, oh, another place, Hendy's. Go to Hendy's. It's not like a Rummage shop, it's a very curated shop. It's beautiful. It's full of like beautiful glassware and homewares, like radiator brushes, that kind of like stepping back into kind of Victorian, and then the shop they've left it kind of very original. I mean, it's just magical. You have to go. It's like, I love going in there even if I don't want to buy anything. And they used to have a restaurant, so when I went 6 years ago, they had like through the shop a little kind of beautiful kind of what would have been the kitchen, with these like lovely little window panes, and you could eat there. And that's not there anymore. I don't know whether it stopped because of COVID, but it was lovely, and it's really worth a visit. Honestly, it's beautiful. It's so Instagrammable. It's just magical. It's one of my top tips there. To go there, and yeah, in terms of other places, it's like a really beautiful little opposite the archway shop, there's like a little pottery shop which is lovely, and there's a vintage place next to that actually, but again it's a bit more curated, so and the price points are higher, but there it's a little bit, you know, you can get some really special things there. And a few doors down from that there is a lovely child'swear shop. So I know I'm not being I'm quite vague about these things, but they're all very close together, and honestly just walk up the high street. There is, sorry, we're on our way. At the start of the high street there is a shop, and it makes it sells vintage what's this called, velvet. So there's like so many colours, it's all in the window, it's beautiful. And it's also a museum for flower making, so they have all the moulds to like punch out these little flowers, and they make them in the store out of the vintage velvet. This is obviously just sprig of holly. But yeah, so if you're looking at, and they also sell like sort of modern plasticky flowers, but if you're looking for some really beautiful kind of like you're making a bonnet or something, that would be a lovely shop to go to. I didn't go into the sort of museum-y part, but it's at the back, and yeah, I mean, fantastic for fabric, really brilliant, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, there's a few more interior shops on that street. Honestly, it's really worth checking out. Anyway, I hope you find this useful. I'm sort of a bit more haphazard with my looking. I don't sort of like, you know, do research. I kind of just wander about and find the places that are right for me.